So I would like to ask Pastors Rob and Adrian Miller of Reclamation Church to come and lead us in our invocation and pledge of allegiance. Please stand if you so choose. Look at this beautiful family.
Will you pray with me? Father, we love you. God, we give you all the honor and glory this evening. Lord, for all of the change and progress and newness and increase of value that we've seen over the last few months. Lord, that you have been the wisdom behind every decision and that you have been moving us with your hand and your hand of favor over our life and over this town. God, I pray that you would be upon the mayor pro tem, the board of aldermen and women tonight. Lord, that every decision that we make and the discussions that we have, Lord, we give you honor, give you glory above all things, and that, Lord, your will above all will be done first and foremost. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. So yeah, the board, Alderman Palacios came up with a great idea that it's better for us all to face the same direction. I think it's so much smarter that way, so kudos. It's a great idea, isn't it? Okay, we will now move on to agenda item 3, additions or deletions. Are there any? Alderwoman Cooper.
Yes, I want to make a motion to delete the draft minutes of July 24th, 2023. They're not in order. Somehow it went out of order.
Yeah, it was a.
So, we just need to have them resubmitted and flow in the right, order.
All right, is there any other additions or deletions?
No. Oh, there's a different section.
Okay. Are there any other additions or deletions? Hearing none, I'll now entertain a motion to approve the agenda with the deletion of item 5A and moving 5B to 5A. Alderman Lockman?
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the agenda with the minutes stricken from this and the consent item number 5 on there.
Alderman Palacios?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. We will now move on to our public comments, beginning with Shannon Fair. Please come to the podium, state your name and your address for the record.
Hello, my name is Shannon Fair. My address is 3269 Gables Drive, Fayetteville. I am with the local Elks Lodge in Fayetteville. I am the president. Thank you for allowing me time to speak and share a little bit about the Elks and our commitment to building stronger communities. As Elks, we invest in our communities through programs to help children grow up healthy and drug-free, meet the needs of today's veterans, and improve the quality of life. Our commitment to the future, building stronger communities, we fulfill this pledge by investing in communities where Elks live and work. We help youth develop lifelong skills, send students to college, meet the needs of today's veterans, and support charitable work of the state Elks Association, and fund projects where the quality of life in local communities. Our commitment to our veterans. So long as there is a veteran, the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks will never forget them. The Veterans Service Commission takes this pledge one step further and promises service to our nation's veterans and military members with a special focus on service to those in need. Our community investment programs has invested $12.3 million across the country through local grants that help Elks meet local needs. Our lodges serve the communities in ways that will raise lodge profile, energize the membership, encourage former members to retain and gain to notice people who want to be a part of an organization doing great things. We pledge to patriotism, endless involvement of support for our veterans. We also educate our youth, drug awareness programs. We have athletic contests, and we have multiple avenues providing college scholarships. Encourage giving within our communities, and we create awareness. We are committed to communities and building a stronger tomorrow. We are pleased to be partnered with the Spring Lake Middle School this year for our first annual school drive to assist and ensure success of our youth. We have numerous donations for school supplies, and we have raised over $300 so far and still collecting money for Spring Lake Middle. And we're looking forward to expanding and growing our partnership with multiple avenues within Spring Lake. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. C. Johnson, I'm assuming that's Crystal? There you are.
Good evening, my name is Crystal Johnson. I reside at 654 Goodyear Drive. I would like to know what is the feedback a little bit later on the recreation tax. I know we have a lot of transition with the recreation center. I was looking at my current property taxes, and I saw some added stuff that
You're
hadn't
not supposed to
necessarily. Right, I know, I'm
Can you be
talking
more specific about your, just so that they can,
the recreation tax.
anything specifically about it, you just wanna?
Yeah, one, I had never seen that on there, before. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, and Ms. Sue Pritchard?
Good evening. My name is Sue Pritchard. My address is 129 Port Tack, Sanford. Thank you all. I appreciate you all allowing me to speak tonight. So I am a former educator, and since college days, I have always had a desire to improve race relations in our country. And as an educator, I've always tried to be conscious of the fact of trying to treat everybody equally. And in education, I definitely saw things that did not always align with my thinking. I retired in February of 2020 as an elementary school principal, and that was 6 weeks before COVID hit. And so I felt like I had time then to dedicate more time, to really try to do something about this. When COVID hit, it seemed like racism was more exposed in our country. And I've been working on different things in my own neighborhood involving having courageous conversations about race and that kind of thing. But I just felt like I needed to do more. And so I approached my pastor, Steve Morris, Living Water Assembly of God Church in Spring Lake, and he immediately recommended that I speak with Mayor Anthony. And so I met with her a couple of months ago, and we had a wonderful conversation, and she recommended that I come here and speak about this. I'm not exactly sure where to go from here, and so I'm really here tonight to present to you all and anybody in the audience. I'm thinking possibly it would be good to hold a meeting with all the pastors in Spring Lake from all the different churches. I personally have always felt that this issue with racism should begin in the church. That's how I feel, because I know that it does exist in churches, unfortunately, and I know that that is against God's will. So I think that might be a good place to start, to have all the pastors meet, and of course any other people that would be interested in this. Mayor Anthony mentioned possibly creating some kind of a committee. I don't know if we just need to meet and brainstorm ideas on exactly what we can do to get other community members involved, maybe even the police force involved. And I definitely, like I said, I think hopefully all of the pastors in the area would be interested in something like this. So that's what I'm presenting tonight, and again, I'm not really sure exactly where to go from here. But I think It's gonna start with lots of conversations because, to the truth, I have some really close Black friends, and the truth is, people don't talk about it in the white community, and so it's gonna have to take conversations. It's gonna take educating people and people listening and really truly listening. So anyway, that's what I'm presenting, and again, I'm not sure exactly where I'm going from here. I'm gonna be here till the end if anybody's interested. I'll be here if you wanna talk to me. Mayor Anthony, you may want to say something else about this. But anyway, that's why I'm here, that's my heart, and I just feel like I have to do something about it. I'm just not sure what that's going to be.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bridget.
Thank you so much.
We will now move on to Mr. Gerald, Daniel Gerald.
Good evening, Madam Mayor,
Good evening.
Board of Aldermen and women. Can't see anymore. Statute 160A, Section 8 and 9. They refer to public records request to an employee. As I may read, date and type of each promotion, demotion, transfer, suspension, separation, or other change of position and classifications within that municipality. And date and general descriptions of reasons for each promotion with that permission for that municipality. I would like to get the public record request for the interim town manager's jacket, his personnel jacket, file. Also, anything that the LGC and the state auditor said. I would like those sooner than 30 days. Which brings me to my next request. I've requested information on the fire truck, ladder truck, why it was purchased, how it was purchased, what funds it was used. We're close to 30 days on that. I've also requested travel for a certain employee or a certain board member. I would like to see that done. Because if we're in such economic straits, why are these purchases and travels being made? And then secondly, I would like a request of the financial audit that the LGC has made and the state auditor has made. I'd like to see those. With that being said, it looks like the economic development program is being followed, but not the correct, what's the wording I'm looking for? The correct, I think, provocation for who started off the economic development program is not given. I think it was railroad on purpose, so others can take credit. I'm just bringing these issues to light, and I think as a board, you should be able to move forward and give me those things, and we can go on from there. Thank you. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you. So I do need to back up. I believe we approved the agenda, but we didn't approve, we kind of approved the consent items with the agenda, so I want to go back and do a motion to approve the agenda, and then a second motion to approve the consent items. Alderwoman Cooper?
Thank you, Mayor. I make a motion to approve, the agenda with the, corrections stated.
Mayor Pro Tem? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Carries unanimously, and now approval of the consent items. A, North Carolina Statewide Emergency Management Mutual Aid and Assistance Agreement Renewal for 23-24. Alderwoman Cooper?
I approve the, consent items for item 5A.
Alderwoman Thompson?
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Now we will move on to our presentations. Always want to make sure we're doing things the right way. United Way of Cumberland County, Miss Rochelle Colvin and friends? Okay, Okay, oh, we do have Miss Amy as well. Okay, you're in there.
Alrighty. Good evening to Mayor Anthony and to the Aldermen. My name is Rochelle Colvin, and I am the Director of Development for the United Way of Cumberland County. And then my wonderful guest is Miss Amy Nevejas, who is our Executive Director for the United Way of Cumberland County. And tonight we just wanted to talk to you all, re-engage, reintroduce ourselves, because we are the United Way of Cumberland County. Our mission, as you all can see, is to improve the quality of lives in Cumberland County by addressing all of the critical human needs. And we do that through different assessments, as we will talk about in just 1 minute. Our vision, as you all can see, for Cumberland County is to be a diverse and dynamic community where individuals and families thrive, where people willingly share the responsibility of ensuring a safe and healthy community, and where there is ongoing emphasis on enhancing the quality of life for all of our citizens. That is something truly, as I have started working with United Way, that we are truly passionate about, and we stand on our vision. Just a couple of key fun facts, I would say, and misconceptions. We are definitely an organization who believes in full transparency and honesty. So I'd like to bring these up. We, all the money that is raised throughout the entire year stays here in Cumberland County, and it is provided and it is dispersed to local organizations only. Again, within Cumberland County. We are not funded by a millionaire CEOs or millionaire CEOs, as some people may think when you think of a large organization like United Way. We are run by a local board of directors, and because each United Way is locally governed, we do have the ability to decide what our focus areas are. And again, it is based on Cumberland County data through surveys that we do each year, as well as we do a deep dive analysis of the NC 211, and we take that data, and that's how we get our focus areas. Our big kickoff campaign, it was last year, or 2 years ago. We packed over 3,500 meals in 2 hours. All of those meals, 35,000, excuse me, 35,000 meals in just 2 hours, and all of those stayed directly here in Cumberland County to specific agencies. We're really excited because next week we will be packing over 70,000 meals in 2 hours, and all of those meals, again, are going to go to organizations right here in Cumberland County, and that is our big campaign kickoff season. Some of the programs, again, I talked about our focus areas. So out of those surveys that we did, our focus areas are education, financial stability, health, as well as basic critical needs. Out of those focus areas, we directly, through the funds that we campaign and we raise, they go directly to specific programs. And as you all can see on the other side of the slide, these are just a few of our community impact programs and our partners who we partner with currently. Some of our initiatives, we have 2 big initiatives along with our campaigning and our focus areas. One is a national initiative, which is the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. So Cumberland County, in partnership with Partnership for Children, we purchase books at a discounted rate. And any families who have children from birth all the way to 5 years old can sign up for this free program, and we mail them books. So by the time they're getting ready to hit kindergarten, they have a nice library of reading books. But again, through all of the funds that we fundraise, we are able to give back to the community. Our second initiative is our Leadership Development Initiative, and this has been going on since 2004. We have been able to graduate 490 community leaders throughout this program, and these graduates are now prepared to sit on nonprofit boards and civic boards just as this. And it is a free program. It is 8 weeks, 1 day a week. And again, they get a lot of development skills, so they are prepared to sit on boards.
I'm going to pick up from here. So a little bit about volunteerism. United Way would not be able to serve the large population that we do if not for volunteers. So a big thing that we do is really try to engage individuals in giving back to their community. There's so much value in that. And as a mother, I am all about getting my children out there and letting them feel what it is to help others who need a hand up or in a difficult time. So we do several things. Our annual meal packing, as she mentioned, 35,000 meals last year with 300 volunteers, 70,000 with 500 volunteers next week. So say a little prayer for us for this event, but it's going to be amazing. We also put out a teen volunteer movement pamphlet every year, and that points out opportunities for teenagers to get involved in volunteerism. One of the things I was hearing a lot from individuals was we want our teens to give back, but we don't really know what opportunities there are, or they won't allow teens, but they will. So we said we'll do the research. That's a good place for us to step in. So we put that together. We also do a stand down opportunity to support the homeless, and we help put that on each year as well. Our impact. So as she mentioned, campaign. With our campaign dollars, every year we reinvest $421,000 with recent years. To support individuals. So you'll see we have well over 200,000 individuals and families within Cumberland County who've been supported through the various nonprofit programs that we fund in our area. Campaign is really how we raise the bulk of our money, but we do have other things like a youth growth stock trust that we can talk about later. But this is all about challenging companies, individuals, groups, boards to give back to the community through supporting the United Way. And what we do with that money is we put together these comprehensive committees and we evaluate the programs, which we could talk about again in a bit. But this is really how we rally the community together to support one another. Funding decisions. Every year we ask for volunteers to sit on panels and they carefully evaluate these programs that are requesting money. I think it's really important to say that we don't just dole out dollars, much like you guys don't, without really assessing where is this money going. Let's look at their audit. Let's see how many people they've impacted. How many are they projecting that they're going to impact? We do site visits. I mean, we really try to go very in depth to make sure that our donor dollars are carefully stewarded to make the best possible impact. We also have something amazing called the Youth Growth Stock Trust. Many years ago, a generous individual named Mr. Robert Short endowed us with a significant sum of money that we continue to invest, and the income from that is now a $21 million trust. The income from that each year is granted back into our community. His one stipulation was it stays in Cumberland County and it goes to kids. Other than that, it's wide open. So we take lots of applications every year. Usually about half we put back in public school programs that the teachers say, I want money to do this with my kids, I just don't have it. And the other half usually go to nonprofit programs. But it's a lot of fun to see if we can kind of dream big what would help you and what would help your kids. Additional dollars invested. So I mentioned the $421,000 from campaign, $324,000 with youth growth, $500,000 we help coordinate the emergency food and shelter program here locally. United Way is designated to coordinate. Almost $20,000 for the 211 service, which is that statewide phone call system. If anyone in North Carolina is in a difficult place, they can call 211 and say, I need to know where our local food bank is, and they'll direct them there. Or I need help with childcare, they'll direct them. And then $32,000 for Dolly Parton. So really all combined, well over $1 million just from our local United Way. Upcoming events and save the date. We have our kickoff coming up, which will be tremendous. We are full with our numbers, but if you're interested, email Rochelle, we'll talk to you guys. It's a great opportunity and so much fun. Over the Edge is our Repelling fundraising event you might have heard of. We would love to have you. If you are an adrenaline junkie, fantastic. You rappel down the side of a building, all for a good cause to raise money in Cumberland County for your neighbors in need. We do a Day of Caring every year as well, and that's where we go to these local partners in nonprofit work and we say, what projects can we pull volunteers together to get done for your organization? It might be painting children's therapy rooms, or it might be gardening, or it might be washing buses at Urban Ministries. It just depends on what they need, but it's a great day of service for our community. We'd love to see more people participate. And of course, the big thing for us is campaign season, which usually runs August to November. And again, that's where we're going to these companies, these groups, these boards to say, please consider offering these individuals the chance to give back to the community, because one person might think, well, my $5 a pay period won't make a difference, but your 5 with her 20, with her 10, that's how we make a difference. Thank you for supporting the United Way.
So before you guys go, we have representatives from our high school and our middle school in the audience. Principal Godbolt, and then we have someone from Pine Forest here. I can't, you're,
Sorry.
okay. So just so you guys, thank you for coming, and we hope to see you here as much as possible, but here's another resource for our schools, so please connect with
Both
them.
of their schools have received funding through Youth Pro Stock Trust.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you. Do you guys have any questions? Okay, don't move yet. You're still in the hot seat. Did the light come on down there? Alderwoman Cooper, okay, followed by Alderwoman Thompson.
Thank you so much, for coming. I grabbed Rochelle at a chamber breakfast, and I was like, you have to come see us. But, my question is, I know you support, all of Cumberland County, but like when you do the community stand down, that's normally like in Fayetteville, right?
It's held at the VFW in Fayetteville, yes.
Okay, so is there like a possibility to move it around so that you are, addressing the needs of, your outlying areas?
I think that's a great idea. I've never heard it suggested, but we can absolutely take that back to committee, because you're right, the homeless don't have transportation, so we need to move to them.
Yeah, and
Right.
also the teen volunteer,
Yes.
do you have a robust list of teen volunteer opportunities in Spring Lake?
We have reached out to various nonprofits. Now, whether or not they had opportunities in Spring Lake, I don't know in particular. But we just reached out to our entire listserv that are nonprofits and said, we're looking for kids' opportunities. So I cannot tell you off the top of my head how many of them are Spring Lake specific.
Okay, all right, thank you so much.
And if one wanted to volunteer for the bill packaging, where would they meet up at? Or is there a sign up registration?
It's going to be at the Crown Coliseum this year. We had to move it because it kept growing and we have to turn volunteers away, which is terrible. No one wants to do that. But if you can contact Rochelle, which I believe Carly has her contact information, then we can talk to you about getting you a slot.
All right, thank you.
They're doing it on that's my birthday, so I can move it on my birthday. Awesome. Are there any other questions? All right, thank you ladies so much.
Thank you.
Yay, happy times. We are moving on to agenda item 7, community appearance and sustainability, yard of the month.
Thank
One
you,
of my
Mayor.
favorite presentations.
All right, so we had 5 winners for Yard of the Month. Yard of the Month, for those that don't know, I'm sure you can guess, is an award that we give to our neighbors and our residents for upkeeping and maintaining their property in a way that beautifies the overall appearance of Spring Lake. And let's go through these winners for the month of August. First, we have Etta Boston, Burgess family in Lake Tree, the Graham family that's in the greater Spring Lake area, the Pugh family, and that's in Deerfield. And then we had one more winner, which didn't want her house up there. So but she has an illness, but was honored that she was still recognized, so she can still show off that even though she's sick, she's able to upkeep her property and maintain, and win an award. So let's give it up to our residents. And are any of our winners here today? All right, come on down. Now, I didn't meet you, so I'm not sure your name, but if the board can come on down with me. Oh, good. So the board's gonna stand behind me and then we can present their awards. We'll work around it. Okay, we're gonna. Good. Get right here in the middle. And then let's balance it out. So some of the board come over here with Mayor. Let's act like we've done this before.
Scoot in, you want us to come in a little closer? You see your foot, you're good. Adrian or.
You want to balance it out.
we good?
I can swear.
There you go. Yep. All right, ready? 1, 2.
So trying not to get the TV in there. Did that work?
And just to be clear, that was the Pugh family that won that out of Deerfield. And that was their second award that they had won in these years.
All right. We will now move on to our public hearing. We're doing, our agenda item 8A, we are, it's a zoning, 230012, rezoning from R6 residential to CP planned commercial district on a more restrictive zoning district for 1.28 plus or minus acres located at 206 Ziegler, submitted by Raymond Sharp on behalf of Shirley Parker Newsom, the trustee, hey, Mr. Foreman. You were not there when I looked down. Take it away, sir.
Well, thank you. Thank you, board. As you can see, this is ZON 230012. Just a quick change in this. The applicant did meet with our deputy director before this went to planning board and changed the request from CP to C1. It's a less intense district. It kind of limits the amount of uses and everything like that, but it still allows what they're proposing to do. So as mentioned before, the applicants, Raymond Sharp on behalf of Shirley Parker Newsom, they're requesting to go from R6 to C1, local business district. Their intent is to do a daycare on the property, and it is 1.28 acres. As you can see, there's a mix of residential, some commercial, single-family residential as well. This is along North Bragg Boulevard. There is CP commercial, C3 directly across the street, and the rest of the property is surrounded by R6 residential. There are no hydric or hydric inclusion soils on the property. There are water and sewer lines directly abutting the property as well. This falls within the Spring Lake Land Use Plan, which calls for commercial. Some of the policies and regulations call for the specific type of commercial district, and the effects on neighborhood access, traffic, and characters should be considered on fringes of existing commercial zoning. And some of the associated districts are C1, C3, CP, and HSP that are all in line with that policy plan. This is the subject property. This is the south view looking down North Bragg Boulevard. This is the north view looking across the street. And this is the northwest view. And staff and the planning board recommend approval for this case.
Are there any questions from the board? No?
Did we see any questions for the?
No, you can answer questions. You'll be asked, at the close of the whole public hearing, you'll be asked again. And then, do you have any questions? All right, I now declare this, public hearing open for zoning case ZON 230012. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this, zoning? Again, is there anyone here to speak in favor? Please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record.
My name is Raymond Sharp. I submitted this on behalf of my client, and I live at 88 Valley Brook Lane in Spring Lake. My client wants to bring daycares to the area. I think this would be a great location. It can benefit many of the people coming through Spring Lake, and I'm excited about it, and I hope you all approve it.
Thank you, Mr. Sharp. It's nice to meet you. Again, last call, is there anyone here to speak in favor of this, zoning? Is there anyone to speak in opposition? Again, is there anyone to speak in opposition? Please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Crystal Johnson, 654 Goodyear Drive. It's not necessarily opposition, but eventually it's a bad place for traffic to get in and out, where they have to come back for the board to ask for zoning and funding, or I don't know how that works. I'm just asking. There's no stoplight there.
Right. There's businesses on that. I mean, it's that open lot directly across from Cedar Point,
I
directly
understand
across
that.
from the gas station.
Right.
So there's no impeding of traffic when they're going to Enterprise or Salati. I don't see why there would be any difference from this that's right on Bragg Boulevard.
Right, I understand exactly where it's at. Okay, I was just making sure. Thank you so much.
No problem. Sir? No, sorry. Can you go back? I didn't think so. Sorry.
Can I answer her question?
Yes, please.
So regarding access and everything like that, that's through DOT. They'll be the ones to determine if a turn lane is going to be required off of North Bragg or if their access is going to be off of Ziegler. So whenever they propose and submit plans for everything like this, they'll go to DOT for driving permits.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, very good. All right, if there is no one else to speak for or against this, I now declare this public hearing closed. And I'll take any questions or comments from the board. Alderman Palacios?
Can you just specify, Chris, the difference between CP and C1 again?
Without having a code on it for me, but I think CP is a heavy commercial or planned commercial, and then C1 is local business. I could give more details if I had it, but I know that CP allows more kind of intense uses and stuff like that, to where C1 is a little more restrictive, so it's not as permittable for gardening uses and everything like that. Local businesses would just be like a daycare, smaller companies, rather than CP as a car wash or a restaurant or a hotel or something like that.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the board? Okay, well, we will move on to our next hearing. And this one is agenda item 8B, zoning 230018, the text amendment to the Town of Spring Lake zoning ordinances to update and reflect the name change of Fort Bragg Military Base to Fort Liberty. Town of Spring Lake applicant, Mr. Boardman, back at you, sir.
I don't have a presentation for this, but it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a text amendment to change Fort Bragg to Fort Liberty in the zoning ordinance.
All right, now declare this public hearing open. Is there anyone to speak in favor of this? Again, is there anyone to speak in favor of this? Last time, anyone to speak in favor? Hearing none, is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Again, is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Last time, anyone here to speak in opposition? Okay, well, I now declare this public hearing closed. That was a great one. That was really, really easy. Any questions or comments from the board? All right, well, we will keep it moving. Awesome. So Colonel Wilcox was supposed to do the PFOS update. He was unavailable to attend the meeting, so we do apologize for that. It was a kind of a late, last minute thing. So we will move on to our rezoning approval, a motion to approve our, to approve zoning 230012, rezoning from R6 residential district CP, CP to C. Chris, I'm sorry, tell me what it is.
C1.
From, it's C1. And that is still C1 planned commercial?
Local
That's
business.
Local business, okay. Okay, so the rezoning from R6 residential district to C1 local business, is it local, can you give me the whole thing so I don't say this wrong?
C1 local business district.
Local business district. One more time, guys, I got it this time. The rezoning from R6 residential to C1 local business district to a more restrictive zoning district for 1.28 plus or minus acres located at 106 Ziegler Circle. I'll now entertain a motion to approve or deny. Go ahead. Oh, new business. None. Oh, this is in the hearing. Now we gotta approve it. So, Alderman Palacios?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. And now we will entertain a motion for the text amendment to the Town of Spring Lake zoning ordinance to update and reflect the name change of Fort Bragg Military Base to Fort Liberty. Alderwoman Cooper?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem?
I second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? Right. All in favor? Okay, motion's unanimous. All right, now we will move on to agenda item 9E. And that's DEV 0057-23, a motion. The applicant is requesting approval for, did I miss D?
Yeah.
Sorry. DEV 004523? Right. Applicant is requesting approval for preliminary plat containing approximately 0.64 plus or minus acres located at 146 Chapel Hill Road, zoned R5 for townhouse complex, submitted by MAPS surveying agent on behalf of an alternative investment holdings. Mr. Portman.
Like you stated, they are proposing to do 6 townhomes on this property here. The applicant here is to answer any questions y'all might have. We have reviewed the plans and find it satisfactory.
They've come before us before, right? And we're just making.
I don't know if it's before you all previously, but I know they were before the board of adjustment on something and they changed their plan and now they're going for you all for plat approval.
Okay. Yes, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Board. Yes, this same applicant came for the rezoning case. So the board has already did the rezoning for this land, for this development to commence. And it's an allowed use. They will have the sidewalks and it meets all the town zoning conditions.
Was it originally 4 units?
You remember the original gentleman that was here, they said 6 and now we put 8.
Mike?
10, the original, yes.
Mike at Mouse.
There was another gentleman here that did the rezoning.
It's not his.
I don't know what his name was, but he was here, because Alderman Blackman asked a question at that board meeting, how many units? But there is 8, it's 2 buildings, but it's allowed use, it's a multifamily, so it's allowed by our zoning ordinance.
This is
6. Oh, 6. Okay, 6. 6.
3 and 3.
3. Well, we have 4 and 4, and so it'll be 6 now. The last time it was 8 and they went down.
Was it about space?
The space,
Okay.
yes.
Sir, are you with it? Please come on.
Thank you all. My name is John, with John Ashcraft with Alternative Investment Holdings. We had worked with numerous initial designs to try to see what we could fit. It's a small parcel. We tried to draw this, we have the square footage to do 10. And so we tried to get that laid out, but it was going to impede into the setbacks. And so we were going to go before the Board of Adjustment. That meeting was canceled. I wasn't here then, so I don't know why. And so we went back to our original design. And so there's 6 units. It's within all the boundaries and setbacks. And I think Mr. Portman can speak to whether or not we're within the setbacks and requirements of that. So it's 6 units, 2 buildings.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'll now entertain a motion to approve DEP 004523 if there is no other discussion. Alderwoman Cooper.
So moved.
Alderwoman Thompson.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, sir, and we look forward to those townhomes. We definitely, need to build up our housing stock, so yay. All right, moving on. This is, I wanna make sure that you guys are really paying attention to what we're about to say right now, because this is huge. This is big. All right, DEB 005723, applicant is requesting approval of commercial group development plan containing approximately 6.88 plus or minus acres located at 317 NC Highway 210, Zone CP for Starbucks. You guys are excited as I am. Submitted by George Rhodes, agent on behalf of the Spring Lake Shopping Center. Mr. Portman. Awesome. Hi there, sir.
Hey there, good evening. George Rose, 1206 Longleaf Drive in Fayetteville. I'm the site engineer for Starbucks, and appreciate the excitement. I think it's well deserved. We've worked long and hard with Starbucks and Walgreens and the Skyline Shopping Center property owners and all the surrounding properties to get this just right. And I think Starbucks is pleased with the site, pleased with the layout. We're working with DOT and the town on roadways and utilities, and I think we've got everything figured out pretty well. So I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Are there any questions? Alderman Lackman.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Mr. Rose, in regards to this Starbucks, I've seen some that are drive-through. I've seen others that are a combination of drive-through and ones where you come in and sit down. Is this gonna be one or the other, or a combination?
This will be a combination. We do have an extensive drive-through lane approaching the building and around the building for, DOT was concerned about that, not having too many cars where they would back out onto the road. So we've got that straightened out, and yes, it is a combination of drive-through and eat-in.
And so this is gonna go right behind Walgreens. It's in the plaza right there. Do you know how many parking spots are being taken away because of this? Is there still enough parking?
There still is enough parking. I don't have the exact figures with me, but we did an extensive parking study where we counted all the parking spaces in Skyline Shopping Center, identified all the existing tenants and their requirements, and exceeded the requirement actually for the amount of parking, taking away some for the Starbucks. We still had more than enough parking per the code for the shopping center.
Alderman Palacios.
Thank you, Mayor. So I think there are two big drawbacks we're having right now with this. I know there's a lot of excitement about it, but number one is the parking, right? So when you look at that, I know it says 6 acres, over 6 acres of the property here, but a Starbucks in the middle of that small shopping center is hard to fathom. However, I understand and I respect that parking studies were done as part of that. The other thing is the location, right? And we do have, this has nothing to do with Starbucks or your plans, but we do have other, big coffee shops around the area. And so now we're having 4 in a very small location. And so I think it's incumbent on the board to, in terms of future development plans, to consider how an oversaturation, is there any oversaturation when it comes to this? Or any other development that we may or may not have. What if 3 car repair shops got on top of each other, or 3 or 4 oil change places, which is something we may have soon, on top of each other. And so those are just things for the board to consider for the future. And other than that, I have no questions. Thank you, Mary.
Awesome. I do want to piggyback off of that. We've got 50,000 to 60,000 people traveling through there every single day. Starbucks has its own crowd. Seven Brews has its own crowd. Dunkin' has its own crowd. We thought we would have an issue when Seven Brews came with Morning Jump. Morning Jump line is still wrapped around the corner because they are specialty coffees. Specialty coffees call for a specialty crowd. I don't believe that anyway. I mean, I'm not economic development, but I don't think that one would impede the other. We've got Dunkin's and Starbucks in same vicinities all across the nation, amongst others. So I don't think that there's going to be an issue there. And from the board standpoint, we don't have control over which businesses come to the community. That was taken from us years ago. So we can't tell which business where they can come, as long as, and that's why the planning board does their studies to make sure that it's feasible. And DOT, as you said, would not allow them to come in and block off traffic. So they have dotted their I's and crossed their T's, and I completely understand where you're coming from. But I do think that each entity is established, in its own rights to where their customers are going to stick with them. So it's providing for me another opportunity for more people who don't want to go to Morning Jump or Seven Brews, who are exclusive Starbucks drinkers, because there are exclusive Starbucks drinkers. It gives them something else now.
Yeah, so, just to rebut, so, and what you're saying is correct, you know, I agree that, diehard Morning Jump is gonna be diehard Starbucks is gonna go and find their avenue now. However, there is possibilities, and the town of Hope Mills is discovering this, that you can have an overlay district that can regulate the businesses as long as it's, you know, objectively in the same zoning, right? However, you can't create overlay districts.
Like our Main Street. Our Main Street has the overlay, it's our overlay district, so we have restrictions on what can come on Main Street.
You know, so this is not a problem now that we're having to face. However, for the future, it can be something we might want to navigate.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mayor.
No problem. Alderman Cooper?
Thank you. Yes, I do want to echo some of what the mayor said. You know, because I remember one time somebody saying, oh my goodness, we have all these tobacco places. And I said, what we did was we regulated how close they could be together. But we can't say how many we can have. That's not our job. It's not what we're tasked to do. So if a business wants to come here, like some people say we have way too many food businesses, but it's up to the business to do the research, which they've done, to see if it is a feasible business according to their research. So if we get 10 coffee places and 40 tobacco stations, as long as they fall within the restrictions we have in place, we would not be doing our job if we just said no because we don't want another coffee place or another tobacco place. It has to fall within the guidelines that we have set forth, and we just redid our land use plan with the county, and we had input from, you know, I believe it was everybody on this board, people on the county. So I just wanted to put that out there. We welcome businesses, but we also, you know, we want them to do their homework and see if it's feasible, if it works for them, and that's what's been done here.
I think have large scale printouts of the plans if y'all want to see those.
You have them with you
Yes.
now? Absolutely. When are you guys starting, the project? When do you plan on breaking ground?
Well, I'm not exactly sure of the schedule. We have, you know, obviously applied to county planning and DOT and, Spring Lake Utilities, and all those approvals are either have happened or in process.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. Oh, okay.
No. Oh, that's cool. Okay, good.
It's gonna be moving.
Madam Mayor and Board, just so you'll know, the ATM machine is set and where Starbucks, so it will be moved. It will still be on the parcel.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
That's really nice, though.
It's gonna be a beautiful addition.
I said, so I was in Tacoma, and all they offered was Starbucks coffee. I was like, wait a minute.
Awesome. So, if there is no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion to approve or deny. Mayor Pro Tem.
I make a motion to approve.
DEV 0057-23. There's, I don't know who was on first. Alderman Palacios.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Starbucks is coming. Awesome. All right, we'll move on to agenda item 9F. DEV 0102-23, applicant is requesting approval of preliminary plat containing approximately 73.02 acres located off of Oldale Road. This is another good one. Zone R6A CZ for 120 lot line subdivision done in 3 phases. This was approved as a conditional zoning, rezoning case P2138 submitted by Mr. Blakely on behalf of Kalen Farms. Go ahead, Mr. Porter.
Okay, so, Mr. Stafford is here, so he can answer any questions as well. Like you stated, this was previously approved as P2138, conditional zoning. So the conditional zoning did approve the preliminary plat that was presented. They're essentially coming in now so they can start their final plat process, but they need a preliminary approval. All the infrastructure's in. If you watch the live on Facebook, you can know. But no, all the infrastructure stuff is, roads are in. I believe they were in the process of doing the kiosks and stuff like that there. But this is a 3-phase subdivision, so they're coming in for the entire project now, all 3 phases for approval. But the final plat will be done administratively for phase 1.
Well, I definitely want to say thank you for sticking to this, Mr. Stafford. I know this was a long and daunting process, but I told you from the beginning, we really want you here and whatever we can do to, help this process. So thank you for bringing Spring Lake much needed new development. It really means a lot.
Glad to be here.
Alderwoman Cooper.
Thank you. Again, thank you as well. I did want to mention, I think somebody is dumping on that site. Is there any way to close it off?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you.
I think somebody is dumping trash on your site, down, out toward the back past the grapevines.
That's our trash.
See, we're checking on you.
I'm trying to look out for you because I know we've been having problems.
We're waiting for an appropriate time. We talked to the chief about that. We're waiting for an appropriate time.
Okay, I thought somebody had dumped on you.
See, we're protecting your subdivision.
Yeah,
We need this to
alright.
stay beautiful. I don't know if you guys have driven back there, drive those streets.
Mhm.
It's just really, really cool to be on
We
the
have the
street.
first
that's not
40 lots
named.
completed, and as we get final platted, the builder will be starting the first 15 homes within the first 30 days.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
More students.
That's awesome.
The price range will be $300 to $350, which if you run that number on out with 120 lots, that's somewhere in the neighborhood of $325 million on average tax base for Spring Lake.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Did anyone else have any
Any other
questions?
I just want to make a statement real quick. I said it was 3 phases. One of the main differences from the previous approval to now is that phase 2 and 3 are switched.
Okay.
Now, that had to do with sections, right, of the property, is that what you mean?
Same number of lots, it's just a matter of phasing was switched from phase 2 to phase 3, 3 to 2.
Okay. You're talking about the order that they're being built in based on the lot. Is that why it changed?
Yeah, so if it would have been like phase 1, 2, 3,
Right.
it's not going 1,
Got
2,
it.
3.
Placement.
Got it.
Okay.
Any other,
No, I'm sorry.
any other discussion? I'll now entertain.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I do
Go
have
ahead.
another question. So I remember this coming before the prior board and getting approved. That was July, I guess, 2 years ago.
Mhm.
But the price point obviously increased because everything increased, I'm sure. Were there any other significant changes to what you guys were proposing as far as your development?
Not really.
No, okay,
Price increased because prices increased.
yeah, okay. Just
We're paying, as an example, right now for ductile iron pipe, a 20-foot section of was 2 years ago, it was $20 for 20 feet. Now it's $40 for 20 feet.
Yeah.
That's just one small example.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Thank you so much, sir. I'll now entertain a motion to approve DEB 0102. Alderman Palacios,
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem. Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Awesome. Starbucks and 120 new homes in Spring Lake, yeah, that is significant. 121 in Spring Lake, this is significant, like, this is huge. So, I'm excited, and I just can't hide it. And a daycare. All right. Yeah. We are now moving on to 9G, our Military Veterans Advisory Committee Charter Amendment. Alderman Lackman.
Mayor, thank you very much. Hey, in regards to the Military Veterans Affairs Committee, we made some changes to our bylaws as we went through here. In the packet that you've got here, it has the changes in red or kind of in a bronze color that's listed in there. Some of the major changes was that we lowered the restrictions down from a 3-year to a 2-year. Coming out of COVID, 3 years just kind of seems just so far out there. So we lowered the term limit to a 2-year. And so,
We can hear, I'm sorry, we can hear your sidebar conversations up here. Can we just keep it to a minimum? Thank you.
and so that's the big change that's in here. We still have the same number, we still have 7 members, 4 organizations, 3 at-large memberships in there. We're not trying to take any memberships away from the at-large people, so the organizations have theirs. They're able to go back to the VFWs, the American Legion, to the non-Knights, and have those heavy lifters to work on the events that we've got coming forth here. So we made a few changes, but all in all, I think they're good changes that we've got. And so with that, I'm looking to have this go through here and get them approved and take it back to the committee.
Awesome. Well, I want to commend you guys for taking the time to do the tedious work, to make sure that our bylaws stay current, to make sure that we're taking care of our members. This is that little bitty work that sometimes gets overlooked, and then bylaws become stagnant and they don't fit the organization. So good job of being proactive. Now, if there's no discussion, I'll entertain a motion to approve our Military Veterans Advisory Committee charter amendments. Alderwoman Cooper.
So moved.
Alderman Lackman.
Let him make it.
No, you gotta be second.
No. I make a motion to remove my motion.
Okay, I'm now entertaining a motion to approve the charter amendments. Alderman Lackman.
Mayor, since I brought this forward here and the hard work from the Military Veterans Affairs Committee, I would like to make a motion that we approve the bylaws as written here. And it's
Absolutely. Alderwoman Cooper. Second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Awesome. All right, now we are moving on to agenda item H. We've got some information to put out. So I do want to start by recognizing the town. We were featured in the North Carolina League of Municipalities Legislative Bulletin, commending the work that has been done in Spring Lake over the years. These past 2 years, we have worked very, very hard to bring this town to where it is right now, and it's getting recognition from across our state and from across the nation. So be proud of Spring Lake. Things have changed. It is definitely a new day, and we're doing things the new Spring Lake way. And so I wanted to make sure our staff is highlighted, our manager, and our board for taking care of the town in a manner that deserves this type of recognition. So can we give the town Spring Lake a round of applause? All right, So myself and Alderwoman Cooper had a chance to attend North Carolina Black Elected Municipal Officials Summer Conference in Rocky Mount. It was absolutely phenomenal. Great information came out of that for us to train amongst ourselves, and some great information from BMO to our community. I know there was something I shared with the chief that he found phenomenal, but this is what we do. When we go out and train, we're able to not just learn how to be better elected officials and understand how government works, but we're able to bring these resources back to the community and see how that they can affect us. I mean, it's a chance for elected officials to talk amongst other elected officials who face similar challenges, or who may have come through a challenge that we're facing. And so we get a chance to network and really find out, you know, creative solutions for making our town move forward. And so it's critically important for us to continue to train, and not just the board. Our staff, it's written into our budgets that our staff will train as well. We want growth and development internally as well, because we can't expect the best if we're not giving them the opportunity to go out and learn how to be the best. National Night Out just happened. That was a major success. Great job, police department. Great job. We also had a Mayor's Coalition meeting with, I had a chance to sit down with Cumberland County mayors. We talked about it's funny that we talked about, it was daycare crisis and the shortage of daycares, and so now we're already addressing that issue with a new daycare coming here to Spring Lake, so way to stay ahead of the power curve. I also attended our FAMPO meeting where we did a boundary assessment workshop. FAMPO is intending or looking to expand their boundaries to include other municipalities in Harnett County, Moore County, Lee County, Hope. And so we had, as a member of the FAMPO organization, we got a chance to sit down with them and discuss the possibility of expansion. We also had a Mayor's Associations meeting. I believe I put it out before that I am on the North Carolina Mayor's Association's Board of Directors. And so we had a chance to sit down and talk. Right now we're talking about, you know, our upcoming budget for the Mayor's Coalition. And we also had, myself and the manager, we had a chance to sit down with DOT, District 6 reps for our area. We got a chance to complain about everything that we hear from you guys. We got a chance to talk about some initiatives that they had pushed back because they had no connection and information from the town of Spring Lake, and so they were, you know, pushing jobs and projects back. Well, we had a chance to sit with them, and that won't happen anymore. We're looking to have these projects prioritized simply because we have been pushed back. So I'm gonna leave that that one. If the manager wants to add more to it, then he will. But just know you'll start seeing DOT a whole lot more doing. Not that they're not active right now, because I think it was a really, really good thing for them to come and sit down with us and explain how things work, hear our concerns, and, you know, get a chance to see where we're going with the town and provide their input. So look for some real main streets being paved. All right. Just wanted to let you guys know that there is a RULAC meeting here in Spring Lake. The board is more than welcome to attend if you want to. Lunch with the mayor is going to be 8/23. This is birthday edition. I get to celebrate my birthday with you guys. It'll be at IHOP at 12 p.m. The IHOP right here on Bragg Boulevard. And that is all I have right now. So I will move on to our Mayor Pro Tem.
I just want to let you guys know again and again that on September 30th, the 7th annual Pink Diamonds will host a 5K cancer walk and community festival. Guys, this is huge because a lot of this money goes back into the community to help people that have cancer or people that's fighting cancer diagnosis. If you're interested in becoming a vendor, please reach out to Miss Diamond, and the telephone number is, I can't even see, this is too small, but I can tell it.
Phone number is 803. It's under your thing. I can't get it. It's under giveaways, line dancing, free blood pressure screenings, the mammogram van. So tell a friend, sign up, register, come support the community. The mammograms are free. And the mammograms are free. Awesome. Alderman Palacios?
Thank you, Mayor. So I wanted to make sure everybody was reminded that there is a town cleanup for the fall that is scheduled for September 16th on Saturday at the rec centers, where we'll meet at 9 a.m. And of course, we'll go around as a group and a community and work towards cleaning up Spring Lake. There is an update to our mural project that we're working on. So the funds have been set aside and the contracts have been signed. So our first mural on Main Street is going to be started around September 30th. It'll take about a week, max of 2 weeks to complete, depending on weather. And we'll have a ceremony. The initial date we have right now is November 10th, just ahead of Veterans Day. The mural itself is on the outside of this wall, above this door. So if you guys haven't looked at it, that's going to be what the mural is. It's going to be on a building on Main Street. So that's exciting. I also wanted to give kudos to a couple people. First, to Ms. Cooper and the mayor for their continued investment in learning and education. One of the things that we were very proud of when it came to this last budget, we were able to include a budget for training for our town employees. And training is obviously a great benefit for someone individually, but also to our town. And the more we all know, the more efficient this town can run. And a lot of the mistakes and problems in our past were because of a lack of training and, of course, a lack of procedure. And so I wanted to commend you guys for your continued work in that, your investment, and also the investment that the employees are making in their continued training. So that, I can't say that enough. So thank you to all and our town staff for doing that. And I also wanted to recognize Marvin Lackman, who was honored with the Bronze Honor Medal from the Fayetteville Rose Society for his work in our community. Thank you, Mayor, that's all.
Marvin, now you know we like to celebrate. You have to tell us give him another round of applause. Kudos to you. Alderwoman Thompson.
Okay, I have a couple of things. Tomorrow from 5 to 7 at Sonic Drive-In, the police department will be accepting donations for back-to-school supplies. And that's, again, 5 to 7 p.m., and that is at, on North Bragg Boulevard here in Spring Lake. Also, on the 26th of this month at 225 Bass Road, they have a food giveaway at Bethel Zion Church from 9 a.m. until all the food is gone. So if you know anybody need food, send them there. And also, back on the 28th of this month, kids go back to school. So if you would like, we would encourage everyone to come out and greet those kids for an awesome school year. We have 3 schools here, so you pick one and kids will be glad to see you. And that's all I have.
And I believe they have staggered times, and close proximity, so you may be able to get to all 3. If not, you can at least get to Spring Lake Middle and Manchester.
We also want to support Pine Forest.
And Pine Forest as well. That's all I have.
Alderman Blackman.
Mayor, thank you. For the audience out here, you'll get to see a couple slides. For those that are out there in YouTube land, they don't quite get to see those. Or do they?
No.
No, they don't? Okay. So once this comes up, Mayor, one of the things that I like to highlight when I talk poundage and stuff with cleanups and those that come out there, we had to break this up in 2 different groups because we were out there cleaning up in different areas. But as you look up there, over for me on the right-hand side, that is the equivalent to 600 pounds of trash.
Wow.
That was pulled off the street by 8 people. And so with that, on the Saturday that we went out there, we had CJ, Aja, Pino, and their son. Their son needed some volunteer time for school, so he came out and worked hard for 3 hours. We also had Mayor Pro Tem Chadwick, we had Alderwoman Thompson, Alderman Palacios, myself, and one of our hidden gems back there in the corner, Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles has been out there and been helping us clean up through the town, and you can see that the hard work of everybody that went forth there, that was some great work.
Absolutely.
Carly, if you pull up the next one. So to date, we have pulled off over 3,030 pounds of trash. I don't highlight this to say what I've done, it's what the group has done. And so we've had 43 volunteers so far this year to come out and help clean. We pulled over 160 bags of trash. So I'd like to thank Cumberland County for providing us the resources and taking away and weighing the trash. So these totals are Cumberland County weight totals, so it's not inflated numbers that I've made up. But also I'd like to thank Sergeant Hoffman that came out and helped keep us safe while we were out there. And you look at some of the areas, I started tracking the areas where we've been cleaning up, and the illegal dump sites have always been out there. But now they become more visible that the town has come for clean. But I'd also like to thank the town staff. Odell, I'd like to thank Steve, I'd like to thank Mike for the hard work that they're doing. We go out there once a month and do this, they do this every day. So it's not just what we do, but it's what we as a town do when we do the cleanups. So I'd like to give everybody a round of hand. And so as we were here, Mr. Charles wanted to go out there and walk around the park out there at Mendoza Park. He wanted to clean up around the edges. And so as he did that, next slide please. So Alderman Palacios and I were talking, and we walked over to one of the play pits area that was over there, and we happened to see all that grass, all those weeds that were out there. And it just made me sick to my stomach as we saw that. And so what do? We started cleaning up. So Charles came over there, and the three of us got out there and just started cleaning those weeds out of the park area. And as we finished, there's a woman that had 2 young kids, and they went right over to the play area and just started playing. And so it just kind of warmed my heart to know that we cleaned up all that grass and stuff out of there to where it had a nice sandy area that they could just go out there and play. So with that, pretty good half hour to clean that up. It was needed, warmed my heart, put a smile on my face. But that being said, Cumberland County, Fayetteville Parks and Rec, they need to step it up. They really need to get out there and they need to work on our parks. We had talked that Spring Lake was going to get representation at the Parks and Recs committee. And if we don't get anyone from the community to volunteer to take and sign up for that, Mayor, my name is in the hat to go out there to have something like this for our kids versus having something like that. So I just want to put that out there. And lastly, the Military and Veterans Affairs Committee, we're going to meet on the 22nd, and we meet at 6:30. General public is welcome to come out. We've got some great things. Last year and this year, we were able to honor Charlie Miller, Sergeant Major Charles Miller. He has since passed away. But as the Military Veterans Affairs, we're looking at honoring and recognizing another veteran this year. And so last year, we chose the oldest living veteran that we knew in the town. And so I think we're going to continue with that tradition. We're going to meet and we're going to discuss that. And so when we have our Veterans Day ceremony, we're going to honor another veteran in Spring Lake that bestowed upon that veteran. So we're looking at doing that. And Mayor, this might be just as big a Starbucks announcement that you would have. But next meeting, Ms. Hickman.
She's in the hallway.
She stepped out. But we're going to come before the board with a military banner recognition for our town. We are so close to Fort Liberty. We share a fence with them.
Yep.
that we have many military, we have many active duty, retirees, veterans, and to go up and down Main Street, just to see banners of military service members who have been in, whether it was back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, or today. But I'm looking to bring that to the board, show you what we're looking to do, and with the help of Mr. Williams over there, this is going to be something that next year will just warm your heart up.
Absolutely. I love the focus on Main Street. It's going to be great.
So Mayor, that's all I got. Well, one last thing, as things happen, Pastor Rob Miller was here, gave the invitation tonight. Just want to let you know he had water issues. He had a water burst in his house, but he still came here to honor him, giving his word as doing this. But yesterday at Reclamation Church, there was a huge event. It was $3.99. Yes, it was $3.99. And there was water slides out there, bowling kids, backpack giveaway, 200 backpacks, 100 pairs of shoes that the church gave away. So things are happening in Spring Lake, and the story is being told. And I just want to tell Reclamation Group, thank you very much. The church, they've got a big heart for Spring Lake, and so things are happening.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And thank you for inviting them, because they publicly and openly support and pray and, watch over Spring Lake. They're always here. So send them an additional thank you. Alderwoman Cooper.
Thank you, Mayor. I've been a little busy. August 2nd, I was on WFNC, where I spoke with, had an interview with Goldie, and the thing that brought me to his attention, his wife used to work at Spring Lake Middle, and I had posted some pictures on Spring Lake, on Facebook about it, because I went there and, love Spring Lake. So he wanted to talk about it, and so we did talk about it. And of course, since the pictures posted, we had also met with staff from all 3 schools in Spring Lake, including Mr. Godbolt. We've continued to have conversations, and we're going to do some things with those children, the children in Spring Lake, to make sure they know that we care, that we're here for them. I worked on bylaws for a booster club, logos. So we're going to put our arms around those children, not just Spring Lake Middle though, because I went to Manchester as well. It was Oakdale then. We're going to start doing more, at least I know, doing more with the children in this community, so that we're not leaving them behind. We're going to let the school board know, hey, you got to help us. You got to bring us some funds in here. So that was a big thing for me. We met, when we met with the principals or administrators, with myself and Mayor Alderman Thompson and Mayor Tim Chadwick, plus State House Representative Marvin Lucas, State House Representative Francis Jackson, and some parents. So we're really going to wrap our hands around them and have hopefully get better outcomes and just show these children that we're here for them. Secondly, I just returned from Charlotte. I am the immediate past president of Women in Municipal Government for North Carolina, and our current national president is representing Tryon, North Carolina. And so we had our national conference in Charlotte, and I was also part of the planning committee, where I was able to get former Mayor Chris Ray to be a presenter and speak about HBCUs and municipalities. That was at no cost to the county, because I was part of the planning committee, as well as the immediate past president of the organization in the state. So it was a great time. We talked about, I got to meet a marshal, a female marshal from the Middle District of North Carolina. We got to talk about financing and the banks, and how banks are supposed to be in the community to help us with CFR, which is community. No, I'm not going to say that. They're supposed to help us with our workforce housing, and we got a chance to talk to somebody who's going to direct us who we should talk to, because they're supposed to be in our community helping us. They have the money. We just have to figure out how to access. attending those trainings gives you access to so much. You know, there were people there from all over the country, and I always bring something back, so, I was excited to attend that. Alderman Thompson mentioned the food giveaway, it's at 255 bathroom. That is actually being put on, in conjunction with Feeding North Carolina Communities and one of my organizations, Community Heartbeats. And so we brought that to Bethel Church, on August 26th at 9 o'clock. If you'd like to come out and volunteer, we would appreciate it. And, lastly, still working on Haunted Lakes. That will be a thing again, which will be a community-wide, trunk or treat. And, we're probably gonna partner with the town so that we make sure no child, goes without candy, for that date. So that is, I think that's it. Awesome.
No. Town manager, do you have anything to report? What about you, Mr. Attorney?
I do, everybody have to forgive me, I've had laryngitis.
Can you pull your mic a little closer?
Yeah, there we go. Sorry, I had laryngitis last couple of weeks. Good to see you, Principal. God knows, I don't think we've actually seen each other in many, many years, but, good memories. We were across the street from each other in Mitzvah. So it's good to see you. That's the good news. The bad news, all right, the town has been sued. Kelby Worthand is a former town employee. The defendant, of course, is the town of Spring Lake. The civil action, this is in the Eastern District of North Carolina. The civil action is 523-CB-386-D as in dog, -RN. It's public record. I'm not going to comment on it. The League of Municipalities has been informed. A defense attorney has been assigned. Please do not ask the town board or any employees any questions because the town attorney, which is me, has instructed them to say no comment. The matter is under an investigation internally, and if it's appropriate, we'll defend this vigorously. And that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. If there is no further discussion, I will now entertain a motion to go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A3, attorney-client privilege, and pursuant to NCGS 143-318-A6, personnel. Alderwoman Cooper. So moved. Mayor Pro Tem. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Have a great evening, you all. Thank you so much for coming out. It is a really, really good service. Move. Second. Y'all just rude. Any discussion? All in favor? I'm not calling nobody for adjourn. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So-
Mayor Pro Tem, Alderman Lackman, you're not even around.
It's mine.
So moved.
It is, I'm sorry.
I second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?